Manchester United's £50 million upgrade to Carrington is set to be complete by July, but what's the current state of play? What is happening and when? This video will explain the project dates and what United fans can expect from what is a much-needed upgrade of what was once upon a time the best training ground in the UK. A lot of the conversation when it comes to new things at United is around the new stadium, but improving Carrington, in my opinion, has always been the priority. It's exactly why that's getting done first. Now, I've done a couple of videos over the last year running through the plans and everything that we've known. We've now got a model that's being released by Foster and Partners, who, of course, are doing the architecture. I'm going to show you some footage. Big up to Colin. I'll leave a link to Colin's video in the description. Some drone footage of Carrington right now. And just kind of run you through a little overview of everything, all right? Let me know what you think in the comments. But it was back in June last year that we got the announcement that Ineos were going to be investing $50 million in Carrington, okay? And at that point, we were told that it was Norman Foster and Partners who were going to be leading the design of it. Now we know, of course, that Foster and Partners are also doing the new stadium. Whether or not this initial concept ends up being Manchester United's new stadium, we'll find out in the goodness of time. But Norman Foster, he's leading both of them. So there's a little bit of continuity between those two designs. Now, the first thing to remember, and I'll show you some footage and we'll run through some photos of models. A lot of the work that's getting done, you won't actually see. It's going to be internal upgrades on the design of the communal areas, of the gym, of the medical area, of the canteen, of the new recovery area is going to be included. You've seen sort of photos and concepts of what it could look like there with the staircase, with the trophies. I haven't seen one of those in a while. I haven't seen a Champions League or a Premier League. Anyway. New canteen. It's more to improve, of course, facilities, right? When it comes to the players, when it comes to actually stuff that can help Manchester United be a better football team with the equipment and the environment. But also partly that environment is just bringing something fresh to a training ground which was once the best in the UK and now isn't. Now, this is what's new, right? This was released by Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News, and it's I don't know whether it's to scale or anything. It's a model from Foster and Partners of what these changes will bring. Now, I'm going to compare that to some footage here, right? So this is Carrington. That's the indoor training pitch. That's the academy training facility. Go across to the main building here. And this is where the gym is. This is where the canteen is. This is where you're going to get a lot of, not that one. These photos and that there are all going to be inside this building here. And then you go across to the Jimmy Murphy Centre, which is where I think all the press stuff happens. And then the training pitches, of course. Now, the thing I'm confused about with this is, if you take a look back here, obviously you've got the car park in between the academy and the indoor training pitch and then the main building, which isn't on this model. I'm guessing it should be in between there, no? That's the new pool. Are they going to put a new pool in? I don't know. But there's not real car parks here. The car park is there. That's a bit odd. Anyway, here's some more footage here of some of the work. So this was taken a couple of weeks ago by Colin. And you can see some of the work has already started on the outside of this main building. And the timeline of this whole project now is that the work will begin properly in April with the intention of these upgrades being completed by the end of July. So that when Manchester United return for, well, pre-season trade, after the pre-season tour and before the season starts, that's when these facilities should be available to use, not only for the first team, but for the women's team and the academy team, because I think the women's team have been training off-site. Training off-site, anyway. I think they got relocated as part of this because a lot of the men's first team facilities were taken away. But this is just, in my opinion, this is a necessity, right? And this just falls in line with the fact that Ratcliffe and Ineos from day one have said that Manchester United need the best facilities in the world. Now, I don't think that these changes, these upgrades will give Manchester United the best facilities in the world because we are upgrading an existing facility. It's not brand new. It's not going to be like Leicester's complex that was created by McLaren. I think if you're looking at, as a United fan, you're looking at something that you'd love these changes to improve. you'd be focused on probably the fitness and the recovery of players, on injury prevention, on just getting these players more athletic. I mean, part of that is not really down to the facilities. Let's be totally honest, it's down to the players we've actually got. But Norman Foster has been given the responsibility of the new stadium, and he's been given the responsibility of bringing something fresh to Carrington. I mean, it's going to be a little bit more than fresh. 50 million is a big budget, and it's quite a big job, and it's going to be a full, if the work starts in earnest in April, it's a full 3.5 month project, but the work has already started, as I showed you there. The kind of work, just minor work, has been ongoing, whilst the full work, I think, will begin once the season is over. I wouldn't say I'm excited about it. I'm just happy it's getting done. That's what I mean. I think this is just a necessity more than anything. And I think this is why I said I've always maintained that upgrading Carrington was more important in the short term than a new stadium. It's because it's where players spend 80% of their time. If you want to talk about a new Manchester United and you have a fresh training ground to go to bring new players to, then it feels like something, and it might be minor, and this is where the sort of marginal gains come in, but when United redid the tunnel walking out to Old Trafford, it was just something a bit fresh, something a little bit new. And it's needed at this club, right? So that's the latest on it. This is what we should be expecting. Majority of the work is going to be going on this central building, I believe. I think they're putting in new balconies. I don't really know about the ins and outs of it. And, of course, the focus is, as I showed you here, on the gym, the medical, the nutrition, the stuff that can actually help the first team, as well as the environment itself. Now, that's the latest. Throughout the whole process, I'll be hopefully working with Colin, bringing you some footage of the upgrades as they happen. Probably not as they happen, but after. We'll bring you that, as well as in and around the stadium stuff. So you can let me know what you think in the comments. Take it easy.